What's up, guys? It's Cam coming at you from the 2-6. Welcome back to Carolina Fragrance Reviews. So Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and it's also 2020. So I was like putting together a list of gourmand fragrances. I've got some summertime, I've got some fall and winter. So we might as well go with the fall and winter. And since there's all these restrictions and lockdowns about Thanksgiving and who you can and can't celebrate with, but I got to thinking about that a little bit. Christmas is almost here too. So if you want to save money for Christmas, just talk about politics at Thanksgiving and you won't have to buy anybody anything for Christmas. Let's go ahead and quit joking around and get into these gourmand fragrances. Let's get into this. Jumping right in at number 10 is a Tom Ford Private Blend fragrance. And it is just like a really sexy, swanky, chocolatey rose fragrance. It is Noir de Noir. And when I was talking about, what I was thinking might be controversial, because I had some fragrances, you guys might argue with me that are, were not gourmands. By definition, it's got chocolate, so that's good. And this was really like the only wild card. I had a few other curveballs I was going to try to throw, but I figured I'd try to keep it as true as gourmandy as possible. But this is dark, it's rich, it's sexy. It actually smells like money. Like have you ever been to like a high dollar resort and you go in, they got like a California king on like marble floors, and they put the chocolates and all that on your bed where your robes and everything. Yeah, that's what this smells like. Just a real swanky vacation with a real fine woman. And this is completely unisex, so ladies, you'll like this one, but not so unisex that the dudes won't like it. Coming in at number 8 is from Shea and Blue. This one is salt and caramel, or caramel. It depends on where you're from, like North Carolina's caramel. This smells like a very, very authentic caramel and salt. It almost even gives like a salted caramel popcorn. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, I like this. I actually like this. And it don't smell like, so much like popcorn. We're like, I don't want to smell like popcorn. But you do get a little bit of that vibe, like at Christmas time with somebody, you're thinking they're gonna give you like a Rolex or something, and they give you one of those big tins that has like cheddar popcorn, butter popcorn, and caramel popcorn. Cheap one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this smells fantastic. That's pretty much what this is, just like salt and caramel and Tonka bean. Tonka bean is used a lot in gourmand, so you're gonna see that one keep rearing its head. To keep things a little bit fresh, I didn't want to go completely obvious, something like chocolate greedy, so I picked something else from Montal. I picked Honey Oud. Now this one has fantastic sillage and performance. It's really spicy, but it's almost like dripping and oozing with honey. It's just like almost syrupy, but the cinnamon, the spiciness on it really kind of helps reel all that in. But at the same time, if it's thick with honey and spice, it's going to stick to you. This has like 12 hours of performance on my skin, so be careful with this one. It's sweet, it's spicy, and I won't go as far as saying sexy, but if you like gnawing on your mate or your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and I'm talking about like this actually might work. Some of the notes in this one are cinnamon, amber, vanilla, and of course, honey. And you do have some oud in here, but not like overly animalic or anything. This is more gourmand than anything, with some woody nuances in the background. And then of course, I am gonna have some of these obvious gourmands like 1 Million Lucky. There ain't a whole lot more I can say about this one other than I love it. It's sweet, it's sexy, definitely gourmandy. You got plum, hazelnut, grapefruit, just yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This is one that you could get away with wearing in the warmer months, but I prefer wearing it in the colder months. The next fragrance is going to be an iconic gourmand. It's actually probably, maybe, possibly the first gourmand fragrance that I ever smelled. It is from Christian Dior, the Privé line. It is Fève Délicieuse. I still love this fragrance. A lot of people say, nah, And as for ladies, I like wearing it. I like wearing it. I mean, it does smell really good on the ladies. I have smelled this on a couple ladies. It does smell really good. It's very, very edible. You kind of get like a little bit of a cherry vibe on top of Tonka. You get a lot of Tonka in here, but it's also mixed with like a little cherry on top. And then you've got some vanilla and caramel mixed in here with that Tonka bean. So this is a very addictive fragrance. There's something about this. So I like wearing this when I go to bed. I'm not sure why, but here lately I've just been like spraying it on after I get out of the shower when I go to bed. Just a really scrumptious, delicious, très delicieux type fragrance. And just in case, for those of you who didn't know, they actually have select, like the more popular ones like Ombre Nuit. There's a few of them that you can get for $100 on Christian Dior's website. That's actually why I copped this. I've had this fragrance in a decant, multiple decants, until I said, hey, I got that sucker for $100. Can't go wrong, and they gift wrap it. Little tip for Christmas. Now, next fragrance, some of y'all might beat me for this because it's a fragrance that comes and goes. It's been discontinued, then it'll come back, then it gets hard to find, then the price goes up a little bit, and then the price keeps going up. It's from the Amen line. It is Pure Tonka. Now, I bought this when it went back in recirculation, and probably by now I'm thinking, from what I was looking, I saw some places that actually have it. So it's not banished and it's not over $100. Unless you go on eBay, I'm sure there's somebody's got it for $300. But yeah, you can still get this one for like $80, which is not much more than what you'd pay full retail at Mugler's website, you know, for Amen or any of the Amen, which ones they have or haven't discontinued. That's just a common thing. But Pure Tonka is probably my third favorite outside of the two obvious ones that everybody likes. And I heard they just like chopped one of them. So not sure if that's true, but I don't know what the heck's going on over at Mugler. But the Amen line, all of them have a gourmandish type thing, whether they, you know, focus on the Tonka or they focus on, you know, whatever. The Tonka in here is beautiful. And it also has some vanilla and roasted coffee. Now, what I get from it is like a little bit of roasted coffee and almost a cookie vibe, if that makes any sense at all. It just makes me think about, like, I don't know, like if you go visit over the holidays, a lot of times, you know, they won't have no big spread. They're gonna have like some cookies and some coffee. So that's where you go where somebody's not cooking turkey or chicken or ham or whatever it is you guys eat this time of year. Now, the next fragrance makes me think of a good old delicious, warm, fresh out of the oven apple pie that somebody's grandma cooked who really knows how to cook. Now, when people say it smells like Granny cooked, that doesn't always mean that Granny can cook. I've tasted some pretty crappy Granny food, and especially like, you know, if you go to church, a homecoming, you have like a spread of like a lot of really good stuff. And then the lady that's served it, try that. Don't try that. The ladies that are cooking up the good stuff, they just sitting over there quiet because they getting ready to like watch their plate get clean. They gonna grab it and they gonna go home. So my apple pie fragrance is Parfum de Marly Wojan. Now this fragrance is so good. And I've mentioned it before. And when I go back to this, yeah, it does have that Hermes Ombre Nougat thing going on in here, but it is still different. So I think this is actually one of the fragrances that kind of got Parfum de Marly under the radar. It's they're a clone company. They're not a clone company. They do have a couple of fragrances that have similar scent profiles, and if that's the case, we could sit here and rattle off 100 of your favorite brands that has a fragrance that smells kind of sort of like something else. But when first time I smelled the Hermes, I was really in love with it, and I've even went back recently and smelled it, and it was just like, aha. But for whatever reason, I like this one a little bit better. It smells a little bit smoother. This one has cinnamon, honey, osmanthus, vanilla, and Tonka bean again. Next fragrance is a brand that kind of flies under the radar unless you are into like obscure brands like Phoebe Peacock. Yes, this one is Besame Mucho. Now this one has a little bit of a resinous vibe to it, but even though caramel is not listed as a note in here, the way that they've developed it, it actually has some tobacco in here, some Tonka bean, black pepper, vanilla, patchouli. It's not overly dark. It's not too sweet. Like I said, it almost has like a caramel resinous kind of thing going on, but it's really Really, really nice. Very unique. It's weird to say this. I don't want to like mislead you and say that it smells fresh, but it's not like super like, you know, like really like, okay, here you go. When you get done eating Thanksgiving and you got to undo your top button, you don't have to undo your top button. You know, you went in, you ate just enough. It was satisfying, but you didn't, you know, just go like pass out while the football game watched you. Coming in at number 2 is from Shea. It is Fan Your Flames. Now, this fragrance is not for the faint of heart. If you guys got to check out the smell and rate of Shea with Samantha, and I told her, you know, she'd have to have her toes ready to get into the deep water of niche fragrances, and she wound up putting her socks back on, and that's going to be a thing unless you like really dark, mysterious, and very original fragrances. I have never smelled anything that smells like this yet. It has almost like a toasted coconut note in here, which makes it really nice. It also has some tobacco, so that's going to keep it dark. And then you got some nice rum and Tonka in here to round this out. It has amazing projection, lasts all freaking day. This is 12 hours easily. Some of these Nichonets are kind of expensive. I see prices on certain ones going down and going up and whatever. 50 ml, you're still not going to find it super cheap, but a bottle like this with a dent like that has been in my collection for 2 years should let you know that, you know, you don't have to overspray this one at all. Coming in at numero uno, probably the easiest one for y'all to predict. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It is Bacchalian Black Phantom. This is the epitome of a gourmand. I love gourmand fragrances. The first time that I smelled this, I was like, whew. I have people that ask me a lot of questions like, okay, if you could just say one about this and one about that, well, you know, if you narrowed it down. A lot of times these questions that I get asked always go back to Black Phantom. It's just because I don't even know why anybody would even say that this fragrance is unoriginal. That was actually on Fragrantica. Somebody's like, hey, you know, really? Okay. I haven't smelled any other fragrance like this. It is skillfully blended by one of my favorite perfumers, Miss Sydney Lancessieur. So yeah, this is an amazing fragrance. This one's got dark chocolate. It's got rum. It's got coffee. It's got caramel or caramel. We're gonna get back on that one more time. And you also have some almond in here, some heliotrope. Just, oh man, I love this fragrance. I don't know that it'll ever get old to me because every time I smell it, it's like, gosh, I love it. And this is like when it first came out. This bottle is from when it first came out. Actually, when I got the Angel Share, they sent me a couple of samples. I haven't heard anybody confirm or deny that Black Phantom has been reformulated, but maybe just because this is macerated longer, I don't know. It smells much lighter, and some people like that lighter aspect about it. Me, I like the darker, mysterious, scrumptious type thing. Not that it smells bad on the newer formulations, it just doesn't smell quite as dark. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite gourmand fragrance is, and just let me know what it's like with your family around Thanksgiving. Until next time, I'll see you on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.